Hello everyone and welcome to IT-KnowledgeBase. In this video lecture, I am going to demonstrate to you all how to secure your SSH service in the latest Ubuntu 22.04.3 LTS version with Google Two-Factor Authentication. Secure your Linux system's logins by installing and enabling a two-factor authentication tool called Google Authenticator PAM module. PAM is a pluggable authentication module. By implementing a PAM module, we can add custom or other authentication methods for users on Ubuntu 22.04 LTS Jammy JellyFish. Although by default, you could protect your SSH connections with an account username and password or with SSH key login method. Here we are going to add an extra layer of protection. We can use 2FA or a two-factor authentication method. This ensures without the supply of an additional security code, the user won't be able to log in. So why Google two-factor authentication with SSH? In short, two-factor authentication or two-way authentication is a two-step security process in which you secure your account with a second password, and thus it reduces the risk of data thieves. This means that if you want to log into your account on a new device, you will need a second code in addition to your self-chosen account password to confirm the login. To enable 2FA on Ubuntu 22.04, we can use a simple tool known as Google Authenticator, the app for Android or iPhone, to generate a code on our smartphone that we must enter when we log into our system account or use a browser extension. Content to cover in this video: steps to enable Google Authenticator 2FA on Ubuntu 22.04 LTS Jammy JellyFish. First, update your Ubuntu 22.04 server, it is recommended. Then install the Google Authenticator PAM module. Download the Google Authenticator app on your smartphone or browser extension. Then generate and scan the QR code. Then enable 2FA on Ubuntu 22.04. Then configure the SSH configuration file. And in the last, we will test two-factor authentication login on Ubuntu server. Please note, the steps given in this video are not limited to Ubuntu Jammy only. We can use them for older version of Ubuntu such as 20.04 Focal or 18.04 Bionic, including other Linux distributions such as Debian, Linux Mint, Elementary OS, Pop OS, and many other more. Okay, now let's move on to our hands-on lab. This is my Ubuntu desktop VM hosted on my cloud server. I have already taken SSH for remote administration via PuTTY, and I will perform all the tasks through this. First, run the system update command to rebuild the apt package index cache so that it can recognize the latest version of available packages through the repositories of the system. Now it's completely updated. Now install the Google Authenticator PAM module. The Pluggable Authentication Modules or PAM offers a centralized authentication mechanism. We are using the Google Authenticator PAM module by installing it on Ubuntu 22.04 LTS using that system's default apt package manager. Google Authenticator has been installed. Now download the Google Authenticator app on your smartphone. Go to your smartphone, Android or iPhone, and open its respective app store. Either use the link we have already given in the description area or search for the Google Authenticator app in your store and install it when the same appears. But I will use the browser extension here in this video to accomplish the demonstration. Now generate and scan QR code to integrate your system into the Google Authenticator app or browser extension so that it can generate codes needed to perform the two-factor authentication while logging into the system. Run the following command. After this, it asks you, do you want to authentication tokens to be time-based? Type yes and hit enter. As you run the above command, a QR code will appear in the terminal. Now open the Google Authenticator app on your smartphone, tap on the plus icon given on the right bottom side. Then scan the QR code appearing on your YouTube terminal. This will start generating 2FA codes on the app for your system. But in this video, I am using the Authenticator browser extension to complete the procedure. Right above, there is the URL for your OTP. You can simply copy this URL and paste it into your browser to display the QR code easily. Now open the Authenticator app and proceed to scan the QR code to display and verify it to your Authenticator app. It will start generating 2FA codes on the app for your system. Press OK. Go to your Authenticator extension. Copy this code. Now enter the code showing on your app for the system to confirm the integration. Hit enter. Once the confirmation is done, you will have the emergency scratch code, which would be required in case you don't have Google Authenticator and its 2FA codes and you still want to log into your Ubuntu account to recover. Unlike Google Authenticator codes, these scratch codes will not expire. Save these codes first and move on to our next step. After that, simply follow the wizard. You can go with yes for all options if you don't know about them. Now configure the OpenSSH to use 2FA. By default, your user will not ask for a two-factor authentication code. To enable it, we have to perform some manual settings. First, back up the file. Now open the SSH PAM file and just add, after the include common auth, add the following line. Save it using Ctrl-O. Press Enter key and exit using Ctrl-X. Now configure the OpenSSH daemon file. Edit the SSH configuration file available for PAM. Here you are required to change just two settings and change no to yes. For the following line, KBD interactive authentication, change it to yes. And use PAM to yes. Now save the file, press Ctrl-O, enter, and Ctrl-X for exit readout. Now restart the SSH server by the following command. Now test two-factor authentication. This is my Windows 11 machine and I am trying to connect with the SSH client to my Ubuntu box. Hit enter. Confirm the password. Now you will have an extra security step. Apart from the user and password, you also have to enter the code generated on the Google Authenticator app on your smartphone or Authenticator browser extension. Simply copy the 2FA code and paste it here. Go to your browser, open up Authenticator extension, copy this code and paste it here and hit enter. And now you are good to go. You are successfully logged into your Ubuntu box. It is complete now. We have configured our 2FA in our Linux box for SSH. Apart from the typical username and password, we also have added an extra security layer in our Ubuntu Linux to SSH it remotely. Now let's conclude the stuff. Multi-factor authentication is a method of confirming your identity using at least two different ways of authentication. The most common and easiest to implement example of two-factor authentication uses a combination of passphrases or complex passwords, often made of several words and a one-time passcode generated by a special mobile app or browser extension. In this video, you have added two-factor authentication, an SSH key plus 2FA token across two channels, your computer plus your phone and browser extension to your server. You have made it very difficult for an outside agent to brute force their way into your machine via SSH and greatly increase the security of your machine. We will use the Google Authenticator app available for Android in the Play Store and iOS in iTunes to generate authentication codes and browser extension. Alright, that is all for the now. If you want to see more awesome training content, make sure you click that subscribe button. Click it so you don't miss it. Or if you have any issues or questions, you can reach out to me and I'd be happy to help you out. Thank you.